She's the perfect person to help us guide through that.
There are different seasons in our life, there are different priorities, and the priorities might change day to day.
How did you decide to, even dive into this? Because you are already doing like hundreds of things in eye care.
The answer is both.
I'm always curious about the names. And do you have a story behind, like, why did you name it?
You're reading my mind. I'll tell you the backstory to this.
One thing that comes to mind, which I struggle with, and I'm going to be honest about it, is saying no. It's so hard to say no to things because you just keep saying yes, yes, yes until you burn out and you're like, I can't take it anymore, and you crash. So, a good coach can change a game. A great coach can change a life. A quote from John Wooden. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nerdy Optometrist, a podcast channel for all things eye care. And this is your host, Ukti Vora. Before we dive into yet another amazing episode, I would like to request you all to not forget to follow my channel and catch all the episodes on your favorite platform. I'm thrilled to welcome Dr. Melissa Barnett, who is definitely a global leader. I'm sure many of you would have seen her in so many different platforms, doing so many lecturing, and she's definitely a known personality within our industry. But for those who haven't heard about her or who haven't known about tremendous thing that she's working on, let me do a quick introduction. Dr. Barnett is a world renowned optometrist and a thought leader, known for her expertise in dry eye disease, specialty in scleral lenses, keratoconus, and presbyopia. She's authored over 300 articles and books. I don't know how she gets time to do it, but trust me, the list is like it goes on. So I'm sure you must have read some of her work. Edited the go-to textbooks, specialty contact lenses and contemporary scleral lenses, and has shared her knowledge through hundreds of lectures around the world. Trust me, her schedule is like always booked, and I'm privileged and happy to have her on my calendar on the show today. Beyond eye care, Dr. Burnett is also a certified coach, passionate about mindful leadership, wellness, and empowering others to reach their full potential. And I'm really excited to learn more about this because I'm sure we all can use that some extra edge to kind of, elevate our life and become a little more better than what we've always been. And she's the perfect person to help us guide through that. Her work and influence have earned her multiple honors, including the Legends Award, Scleral Lens Practitioner of the Year, and recognition as one of Vision Monday's most influential women in optical. And not to forget, after doing all of this, she's also a podcast partner. She is the host of Clearly Casey podcast. Within our small podcast community, she is a fellow podcaster as well, where she continues to inspire and elevate the conversation around eye care and innovation. In short, she does it all, and we're going to talk about a new role that she's embarked recently. And I'm really excited and thrilled about it. So, with that, a very warm welcome, Dr. Melissa, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you so much for the warm welcome. And I'm glad you got the memo about the matching earrings too
Yes.
for all of our podcasters. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been it. So for all the listeners, this was not planned. We accidentally just turned on the camera and realized, oops, we all have the same earrings, and we are true eye care nerds. I think both of us together would have like hundreds of eye care or eye-shaped things in our closets for sure.
Well, thank you so much for having me and the warm welcome. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and you know what? I we have done another episode in the past. And I was just checking and going back to where we started our conversation. My last podcast with you was in 2020 on Nerdy Optometrist. We've done few on other platforms. We've been friends and known each other since then. And when I was listening back to, what our conversation in 2020 was, you were talking about setting goals, and you were talking about priorities, and like because you have kids, you have family, it's not that like you also have personal life and your professional life. So that's what you were talking about with me 5 years ago. And today we're talking about this new role that you have, that I would like you to tell us a little more about.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad that I'm consistent, at least from 5 years ago. It's always such a pleasure to work with you and collaborate. So, my new role is really exciting. I've done a lot of things in eye care over the years. And after many years of mentoring, about 25 years, I followed my passion for empowering others and stepped into coaching. So, with this process, I had a formal coaching program, earned 100 hours of coaching to sit for an examination, and now I am a certified professional life coach, certified from the International Coaching Federation. And what I focus on in my coaching is mindful leadership, wellness, and public speaking.
So, how did you decide to, even dive into this? Because you were already doing like hundreds of things in eye care. This I feel was it like a major shift, or do you feel this is something that's running in parallel with everything that you're working on?
The answer is both, really. Yes, it is a major shift. I am still practicing eye care, still lecturing in the eye care space. And the coaching, it's so exciting. It's something that if I go way back to my college days, I was a psychology major, specifically neuroscience. It's something that's always interested me and I've always been passionate about. And then in eye care, in patient care, we're all coaching our patients really on a day-to-day basis. And with that patient care, direct patient care, and all the mentoring that I've done with people in our profession in eye care, it really feels like a natural fit.
Yeah, and I think I have known you as a mentor as well for myself. I have had like, ideas or questions that would come to you and you would just like be there to help and support me. So I think it is like a natural instinct in you that, you just help people and support people. And now you've made it a little more formal by going through the training. And I actually wanted to pick on one thing that I've seen, the thing that you talk about, and which is mindful leadership and wellness. Like, currently, if you look at the current corporate world or like the actual industry, it is so fierce, it's so competitive. People are like just like trying to be the best. But then thinking about mindful leadership, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. How do you define that?
Yes, so mindful leadership is something that it's really important, and the wellness and mindful leadership go together because I believe that leaders need to be well. They need to take care of themselves in order to take care of others. So mindful leadership is really having sustainable leadership practices, incorporating things like self-awareness, intentional decision making. I talk a lot about overall well-being and energy management, having different strategies, whether that's exercise, certain things like yoga or cycling, or really anything, including mindfulness, meditation, including awe, like actually being present, fully present while being a leader. And this really helps set priorities for yourself, set priorities for your business, set priorities for your patients, whatever situation that you're in. And it helps with different strategies, especially when challenges come up, because it's life and things
Yes.
come up. And then it also really helps in achieving goals.
When you talk about like mindful leadership, wellness, taking care of yourself, priorities, one thing that comes to mind, which I struggle with, and I'm going to be honest about it, and I think that's where your coaching or the way you're talking about it could help, is saying no. It's
Mm.
so hard to say no to things because you just keep saying yes, yes, yes until you burn out and you're like, I can't take it anymore, and you crash. So,
You are exactly right. It's like you're reading my mind because I'm working on a whole burnout series right now. And part of that is saying yes. And I was guilty of this for many, many years. And it's still hard for me to say no. But I think when we say no, it opens up another opportunity. And that's the way I've had to think about it. But that's such a great point. And with burnout being up to 67% of eye doctors right now, Caleb Abbott, and he published, I'm going to repeat that, with burnout being up to 67% now, and Caleb Abbott and his group have I'm gonna try third time's the charm.
Yes.
With burnout being up to 67% of eye doctors right now, Caleb Abbott and his group published on this topic and have multiple publications. It's so important that all of us in eye care, not in eye care, all of us work on ourselves in order to prevent burnout because this affects not only our work lives, but our personal lives. If we're stressed out, if we can't sleep, if we don't have energy, if we're so worried about everything that's going to happen. And in busy life right now, there's a lot going on. So, what I love about coaching is that it brings work and life together because professional life coaching is all about life and we're all the same person if we're whatever we're doing. So it's great to have these strategies and I've learned a lot from my coaches as well in order to live intentionally. And that's something I also like to talk about a lot because many of us can be in great situations. Maybe we have a role that we really like, we have a family, we have friends, we have all this going on, but we're not actually saying yes, as you said, to the things we want to and saying no to the things that we want to. And that's where coaching comes in and really helps out.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely feel that. And I think you did mention a great point about the fact that, sometimes we're just doing things and not really understanding is that really where we want to be. Or we might feel lost, like, okay, things are great, but maybe I'm not having that satisfaction or I'm not having that complete happiness that I'm looking for. And sometimes this mindful, awareness of what you really want in your life, and this coaching can really help. So I know Alpine Blue Coaching is the name of your coaching services that you've offered, and I'm always curious about the names. And do you have a story behind, like, why did you name it the way
Yes, I love names too. We haven't talked about this before. I love a name. Whenever there's a name of something, I'm like, why is it that name?
you?
So I'll tell you the backstory to this. And this took a long time actually to come up with the name. The backstory is I was so focused on I things, like I related names. And then I went back to my why that I've had for many, many years. And my why is to elevate others through the power of connection. And so the alpine blue with the mountains and the air and the water, I also love hiking and being outside and being in nature. It's the elevate aspect of that, the elevation and the mountain. And the blue, yeah, I just like blue. And
That
and the visuals and I feel my best self when I'm out in nature and really being present and appreciating the natural beauty around me.
That's wonderful. Now I'm definitely going to look at that logo and name so differently. And I'm sure so would my listeners. This is something that, actually helps connect with the brand or your identity a little more. Like now I know you love hiking. Like that's one thing about you that we know. Or like a mountain represents elevation or to elevate others, which aligns with your mission. I think this is great. I love these kind of stories. So let's talk about like the benefits, right? So you said, like, as you rightly mentioned, initially you're just focusing on eye, but your coaching or what you're trying to do is not just for like optometrist or eye care industry, right? It's for anyone and everyone, whether they're from healthcare, they're from eye care, they are just someone who is stuck in whatever they're doing and trying to kind of grow or find some purpose or some goals. So, what are the key benefits of this coaching that you're offering?
Yes, and I really love how you said stuck because I always think whenever we're stuck in something, whether it's life or work, coaching can really benefit and help you become unstuck. So that's one of the benefits. Coaching is a collaborative process to help you set and achieve goals. So it's great to actually define those goals, know what your goals are, and then achieve them. So help my clients gain clarity, build confidence, and create the change that they want to see in their lives. And that's intentional change. Meanwhile, having the energy to do so. So, doing so in a mindful way, in an intentional way, to unlocking their full potential and living their best lives. That's what I always like to say about coaching. It's defining those goals and achieving the goals in order for you to live your best life.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I can share from my experience of coaching, and also like, I attended one of your session, and one thing you learn is like there is someone who one can relate to you, but also give you some realistic expectations because sometimes you want to be like, say if it's my first day trying yoga, right? And I want to do these three asanas, and my yoga instructor would be like, there is steps to it. You can't just do everything like on first day, right? So helping you realize like how to go towards that goal and how to not get discouraged just because you did something that was not in the right process or right step. At the same time, they can be like, why just three? You can aim for six. So I think those kind of conversations are very important with the coach, who which is how you would probably get unstuck and also get new ideas. Uh, Especially understanding like how to gradually grow and push yourself and not just be comfortable wherever you are and try to kind of experiment and know your full potential. So I completely agree, like how coaching can really help you get unstuck in whichever phase of life you are or wherever you are. I know you had mentioned when we were talking offline about some success stories of some of your clients, who had set some goals and they were able to achieve that through your coaching. To give a little more context, right, I would really appreciate if you can share some of those success stories with people.
Yes, well, there's so many, and I find that it's so rewarding when my clients reach their goal and it depends. Everyone's on their own timeline. I think that's important. Everyone has different goals, their own timelines. I'm going to share one success story. This is a very successful client who has multiple roles, who is struggling with her work-life balance. And I find that work-life balance or work-life alignment, as I've learned, or whatever you want to call it, is something that comes up. This is something that I've coached people on for many, many years. And it's one of my favorite topics actually to talk about because there are different seasons in our life, there are different priorities in our life, and the priorities might change day to day. Uh, it might be going to your kid's baseball game today, and tomorrow it might be a big project at work or direct patient care and seeing all the patients first. So it really is a constant ebb and flow. But back to this client, with coaching, she was able to prioritize what was important to her and gained a new lightness in her life. She now smiles more when she walks. She walks with energy. And the one thing I really love about it is that she's able to be present in all aspects of her life. So to be fully present. So at work, at home, with her family, and even with her friends. So she has said that coaching has just changed her life, changed her whole perspective on life. And that's just one story of many. I know we don't have hours to talk about all these success stories, but there's so many good ones.
But I'm sure
And
people can come to you and add to your story library. So anyone who's
yes.
listening can reach out to you, and you do offer this as a global solution, right? It's not just limited to people in the United States, or is it something
Oh,
that
right.
you're
Yes,
doing?
I do have clients from all over the world currently. And the most challenging part is really just setting the time when we're in different time zones, but we make it work. Sometimes it's
That's
early morning for me, sometimes it's late evening. It always works out.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
if all the listeners, if you are from a different part of the world, still this is relevant to you. So, please do not hesitate to reach out to her and learn more about how she can help you get unstuck and be and focus on sustainable leadership and like sustainable growth. And tell me about some of your challenges because I'm sure like this hasn't been an easy journey for you as well. And I have known you for 5 years and I've seen that so many things you're doing. So what were your challenges, when you decided to focus on coaching and in your
I
coaching
think
journey?
I think the challenges are really balancing it all. So balancing the coaching, I was coaching all the time. So it was before work, after work, weekends, just all the time outside of class too. And then we had class as well, and still lecturing and doing workshops, and our new book also came out at the same time. So there's all these things that were happening. But I would say that yes, it was a challenge, but I love challenging myself. And that's one great thing about coaching is it's really pushing me to grow in these new directions.
One thing I have to tell to all my listeners about Dr. Melissa is like I've always seen her smile. That is one thing that is her personality. I think she's definitely decoded this whole, process of work-life alignment or work-life balance. Because even though I always see her running in like 100 places, she's always smiling and happy. So I think that's something that I'm sure
Oh,
that people will be more happier after the coaching and learning how to juggle and how to prioritize things. Just like, you've been doing it. You could have different goals, but just pushing yourself in a more sustainable way, I think is the key. So with that, we have learned a lot about coaching, about things that you've been doing, but I think now it's time for a game segment to know a little more about you. And it's a simple game segment called this or that. I'll give you two options. You just have to pick what's your preference.
okay, let's
All
go.
right. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
A dog person,
All right. What do you prefer, a phone call or a text?
phone call.
Glasses or contact lenses?
Well, you know the answer to that. It has to be contact
I
lenses.
know. Online shopping or shopping in store?
Oh, I dislike shopping, all types of shopping, but probably in a store very quickly and efficiently.
Nice. And cake or ice cream?
Ice cream.
All right. Oceans or mountains? I actually thought I know the answer, but now I'm going to make you pick one.
Both.
All
I love
right.
both.
I
I do love both.
You have both in your logo and name, so I kind of assume like this is going to be a tricky one. Movie or reading?
Reading.
All right. Day at a park or day at a beach?
A beach.
All right, and that's it. So I definitely
Oh,
know a little
how
more about
fun.
you and what we can be outdoors for sure next time we meet, whether it's oceans or mountains. And maybe, like we'll spend a little more. And of course, shopping is going to be the next thing on our agenda when we meet.
You can help me with that, please.
Of course. All right, with that, before we wrap up this episode, what is one final takeaway message for all my listeners?
Well, it's been such a pleasure being on your podcast as always. And the message is really that it's important to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of others. And I always think of the oxygen mask analogy when we're on an airplane. When you're on the plane, you put your own mask on first, and then you can help others. I also think of this as like a vessel that we want to fill up the vessel with energy, with life, and we need to do that for ourselves so that we're not depleted. And prioritizing our own well-being really helps us lead with energy and empathy, and it creates space to elevate others. So when you nurture yourself, you strengthen your ability to nurture those around you. And if you're interested to learn more about Alpine Blue coaching, you can feel free to reach out to me. My website is alpinebluecoaching.info, or on all the social medias, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. And once again, just thank you so much
Of
for
course.
having me
And
on your podcast.
it's always a pleasure to have conversations with you. And I actually wanted a phone call to be turned into an episode because I know the way I have benefited, so many of my listeners could benefit from our conversations as well. I will definitely be adding your website links and the LinkedIn and like social media links in the description. So in case, for all the listeners, you can just look at the description below and you'll be able to connect with Dr. Melissa. Even if you're not interested in coaching, she's the person you definitely want to follow and see what she's doing and be in touch with her because she's definitely very inspiring as a person, as an optometrist, as a leader. With that, thank you so much once again for your time, and it's always a pleasure to chat with you.
Oh, thank you so much for your kindness. Such a pleasure.